I wanted to spend this particular installment just kind of answering a question I hear a lot from founders and business leaders. My name is Michael Poro. I am an outsourced or fractional sales leader. Been in sales leadership for over 25 years, and now I dedicate the last 5 or 6 years just working with small to medium-sized businesses. So I get asked a lot about from founders or business leaders, what are some of the key things that I see in clients or founders that I talk to in terms of being successful? I also get questions about what are some of the things that I see that are holding companies back, that are blockers for success. And they're, of course, linked together. The three pillars that I usually lean on the most are people, number one. Do you have the right people in place? Do they know what their role is and how important they are and the role they play in the company? Is there a feedback mechanism for people? Is there a way to enhance their skills and grow and all those things? So that's high level, number one, people. Number two is structure and process. Do you have a repeatable process in place in terms when it comes to sales structure? Um, does the mission of the company and mission statement align with the value proposition? Is there a strong and defined value proposition the entire company or group knows? Your ICP or your ideal customer profile, is that well defined? Where do we find our best customers? Lead generation. How do we bring them into the fold and get them into our sales process? Um, and having a repeatable sales process. Most companies don't have one that's well defined and repeatable, where you can take somebody through each stage of the sales process with a call to action, and the sales team embraces it and knows it. Do we have a compensation plan? Is it the activity well defined on how many calls or demos should be done a week? Is there a quota for the month? All those things, right? Coaching your salespeople. Are there one-on-one meetings? Are you going through the pipeline? Are you developing them? Are you doing role playing? Things like that. So that's number two, as far as having some repeatable sales structure or processes in place. Number three, I see a lot is really, which we'll spend more time now on this installment, is about leadership. And what I see a lot of times is successful leaders tend to delegate and they trust others and don't have too much on their plate. In many cases, I see that a lot of founders can be the bottleneck. They have everything on their plate and they are the bottleneck in the company where all the decisions must be made through them. Um, so, I always try to take a pulse of every leader is different. And I try to just ask some questions and understand, first off, what is on their plate, right? So it should be not a lot of tasks and not a lot of admin at all that will drag them down. I know every company is different, but I always ask the question is what takes up the time in your day, in your week? The things that should take up your time are linked to something that's a unique talent that you have, potentially relationships that you have with customers or folks in the industry that are strong and over time that you certainly want to keep up with. Um, and then also, anything else that comes down to authority. Many times, as the company or the business leader, or you need to be the one that contacts people and has that on your plate. But most everything else should be off your plate and hopefully delegated. I've talked to some founders that have their hands in everything, even up to expense reports, and those things should be delegated to somebody else. I also see, and it's part of what I do, um, the frustration with founders that they saw some great growth. I give them a lot of credit. They took a company from nothing to 2 and 3 and 5 and 6 million dollars, but sometimes they hit a wall because they don't have enough systems in place or the right people, and they haven't delegated enough. And you can't scale if you keep everything on your plate. And I meet many founders that are both running a company and running the sales team, which at a certain point, it's very problematic to do. And that's where I can come in and help certain folks and give them some thoughts and a roadmap. But I guess I'll leave you with this is, do you have someone on the team that you can trust, that you can delegate some tasks to? Um, the ones and the leaders and the founders that do delegate, they do free up more time where they can work high level on the company instead of in the company, being a part of every detail. And they can really affect change and pull the company a certain direction while they trust others. The leaders that don't delegate very well, they tend to be very busy, very stressed because they're being dragged down by a lot of different tasks. And it's also very difficult for them to think 1, 2 years ahead and really where the business is going because they're so deep in the day to day. So just that's what I wanted to cover today is those three pillars, but really drill down on leadership and your ability to delegate and take some things off your plate. So hopefully that gave you some things to think about. I'll do another installment that talks a little bit more about people and also processes. Those are the big three. But if you want any help and you want to give me any insights in your situation, happy to help. But hopefully this couple minute video will give you some things to think about. Thanks.